Series 4, Day 6, No Way Out. I was 3 blocks from the church when I found Sheriff Delaney, or what was left of him. He was sitting in his patrol car on the corner of Coldwell and 3rd, driver's side window down, both hands on the steering wheel, uniform still pressed and neat like he had just started his shift. From a distance, he looked fine. From a distance, he looked like a sheriff sitting in his car doing exactly what sheriffs do. My heart did a small, hopeful thing that I immediately pressed back down, because hope without verification is just a faster way to get killed. I approached from behind using the 4-step check at every corner. Slow walk, hand on chest, 63. Hold at 63. When I got close enough to see his face, I stopped walking. His eyes were open, both of them fixed forward through the windshield at something only he could see. His mouth was slightly open. His skin had gone the color and texture of old candle wax. But none of that was what stopped me. What stopped me was his notebook. Sheriff Delaney kept an official duty notebook in his breast pocket, standard issue, black cover with the county seal on the front. I had seen it 100 times over the years, every time he pulled it out at town meetings or community events to write something down. It was in his lap now, open, and something had been written across both pages in handwriting that was not his. Large, careful letters filling every line of both pages. Written not in pen, but in something dark that I did not look at too closely. I reached through the open window and took the notebook. I read it standing beside the patrol car in the cold blue pre-dawn dark, with my hand pressed against my chest and my pulse oximeter reading 63, 64, 63. Willing it to stay there while I read the most important and terrifying document I had ever held in my life. It was not a message to me specifically. It was a record, a complete and detailed account written in language that was formal and precise and completely inhuman in its emotional neutrality, like a scientific observation log, like something that had been watching Harlow Creek the way a researcher watches a colony of insects and had decided, for reasons I could not fully understand, to write down exactly what it had observed. I'm going to tell you what it said because you need to know, because the people of Harlow Creek deserve to have someone know what happened to them, because Sarah Chen deserved to have someone know what happened to her and why. The creature did not come from below Harlow Creek by accident. It came here because it was called. The notebook described a signal, a specific frequency broadcast upward through the bedrock of Harlow Creek for approximately 11 months before the crack opened in Founders Square. A signal that originated not from the creature itself, but from something buried beneath Miller's farm at the edge of town. Something that had been there for a very long time, something that the creature recognized the way a living thing recognizes the call of its own kind. The creature had not come to destroy Harlow Creek. It had come to retrieve something that belonged to it or to whatever ancient category of existence it occupied, something that had been separated from it long ago and buried beneath a Montana grain farm by people who either did not know what they had found or knew exactly what they had found and wanted it contained. The 612 people of Harlow Creek were not dead. I read that line 4 times before my brain accepted the words. They were not dead. They had been moved, relocated underground to a space the notebook described in terms I could not fully visualize. A preserved environment below the surface structured around the biological needs of the organisms being held within it. Warm, oxygenated, fed by some mechanism the notebook did not explain. They were alive and they were underground, and the creature had put them there not out of malice, but out of what the notebook described with clinical precision as protective sequestration. It had moved them underground to keep them safe while it retrieved what it came for,
because based on its previous experiences with surface-dwelling organisms, it had calculated that leaving them on the surface during the retrieval process would result in their termination. It had put my entire town underground to protect them, the way you might move furniture out of a room before you swing a sledgehammer. My heart rate spiked to 78 before I caught it. I pressed both hands against my chest and breathed and counted and brought it back down. 65, 64, 63. Come back, come back. The notebook said one more thing that I need to tell you. It said the retrieval would be complete at dawn. It said that at dawn, the creature would return below the surface through the same point of entry it had used on day 1, Founders Square. And when it went back down, it would unseal the underground space, and the 612 residents of Harlow Creek would be returned to the surface unharmed. All of them, every single one of them, was coming back. But the notebook said something else underneath that, something written in slightly different lettering, as if added as an afterthought or a condition. It said the return of the surface organisms was contingent on the removal of the retrieval object from its current location before dawn. It said the object needed to be above ground and accessible at the point of the creature's descent, or the creature would be unable to complete the return sequence and would be forced to remain on the surface indefinitely, searching for an alternative retrieval method. If the object was not at Founders Square before dawn, my town stayed underground forever. The object was at Miller's farm. I looked at my watch, 5:58 a.m. Dawn at 6:15, 77 minutes. I put the notebook in my backpack and I looked at the map again, and I started walking toward Miller's farm. And I did not let myself think about anything except the 4-step check and the pulse oximeter and the number 63. Because if I thought about anything else, my heart would do what hearts do when they understand the full weight of what is being asked of them, and I could not afford that right now. I made it 6 blocks before the creature found me. I heard it before I felt it, a change in the quality of the silence, the particular way the air pressure shifts when something enormously large moves through a space nearby. I was on the corner of Miller Road and 5th when the vibration in the ground went from distant background rhythm to immediate close proximity in approximately 4 seconds. I did the only thing my rules allowed. I stopped walking. I pressed myself against the nearest wall. I put both hands flat against my chest. I closed my eyes. 63. Hold at 63. Do not run. Do not run. Do not run. It came around the corner of 5th Street from the direction of the school. I know this because I felt the vibration of each step through the wall I was pressed against, and I counted them and tracked their direction the way Sarah had taught me in the basement of the elementary school. She had said, treat the vibrations like a map. Each step is a data point. If you know where the last 3 steps were, you can predict where the next one will be. She had said this in her nurse voice, and I had written it in my notebook, and I was using it right now to stay alive. It came around the corner and moved down Miller Road in the direction of the farm, moving with purpose, moving faster than I had ever felt it move before, like it knew dawn was coming and it was running out of time too. It passed within 30 feet of where I was pressed against the wall. I know it was 30 feet because I could see it. I had never seen it this close in full view before. Every other time had been darkness, distance, and the peripheral vision of something my brain refused to fully process. This time, the cold blue pre-dawn light was just enough, and it was just close enough, and I was just terrified enough that my eyes would not close the way every survival instinct was screaming them to. It was not what I expected. Not exactly. It was tall. All of that was accurate. Taller than the buildings it moved between, limbs arranged in ways that had no biological reference point in anything I had ever seen or read about. But it was not just dark. In the pre-dawn light, I could see texture, surface detail. It looked like something geological, like compressed layers of deep earth material, sediment and mineral, and something older than both, pressed and folded into a shape that moved. Like a piece of the deep earth had learned to stand up and walk. And it was carrying something. Cradled in the lower of its many limbs, held with a gentleness that was completely at odds with its scale, was a shape approximately the size of a large boulder, dark and smooth and faintly luminescent in the cold blue light, pulsing with a slow rhythm that I recognized after a moment with a shock that nearly spiked my heart rate past the point of no return. It was pulsing exactly 62 beats per minute. The object from Miller's farm, the thing that had been broadcasting a signal upward through the bedrock for 11 months,